So the first thing we're going to talk about is bear hugs. So a bear hug is kind of an umbrella term for when someone comes up and grabs you. This could be from over your arms, from under your arms, from behind you, or from the front. So we're going to talk about how to get away from any way they might grab you and try to take you away. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a rear bear hug from under the arms. So let's say you're trying to run away and they grab you. They try to pick you up and take you. What the first thing you want to do is drop your weight, which you can do by bending your knees and trying to push all your weight downwards. This will make you feel way heavier, and they'll probably drop you just from this, but just in case they don't, the main thing you want to do is get your feet on the ground. Once you're here, you have a lot more control of the situation, and you can do a couple of different things. You can elbow them in the face, you can stomp their foot, you can kick their knee, you can elbow them. You still have access to your hands, so use them. Even if you can't really see what's going on behind you, you know that they have their whole face right here. Nobody wants to get their eyes poked out. So really, just do whatever you can to get away. That includes dropping your weight, stomping their foot, kicking their knee, elbowing them, or so on until they let go and you can get away. Now, knowing how to drop your weight is really the number one way to get out of a grab like this. Because if they're taking you away and you're just kicking about, while it might make it more difficult for them, it might not make them put you down or drop you. So when we talk about dropping our weight, if Grace will grab me again, thank you, and she goes to pick me up just slightly, I'm going to bend my knees and try to get as close to the ground as possible. Now, not only is she stuck in a bad position, but I'm here, I'm on the ground, and I have a lot more control of the situation going on. Keep in mind that your average attacker will be quite a bit bigger than you, so this is a really good skill to know in case they do try to just pick you up and take you away. Now, this is also one of the things you want to do if they get you in a rear bear hug, over the arms. So let's say that they've grabbed you over the arms and now you don't have your hands. They go to pick you up, and you want to do the same thing. You want to drop your weight. You want to grab their hands, pull them off of you, and then from here, while you're still close to the ground, you can use your legs, kick them in the knee, stomp their foot. You can still elbow them. You still have pretty good range of motion over your body, but the number one thing is you want to get down to the ground as fast as possible. So one more time, if someone goes to grab you from behind in a bear hug over the arms, the first thing you want to do is drop your weight by bending your knees and sinking your hips down, taking them down with you if you can. And then from here, you still have pretty good control of your body. You want to grab their hands, pull them down off of you. Then you can still stomp their foot, kick their knee, elbow them, headbutt them, whatever you can do to get them off of you and want to let go so you can run away. There is one more bear hug to go over, and that's going to be a forward bear hug over the arms. Now, a front bear hug over the arms is when they come up to you and they've completely got your arms pinned to you. You can't use them, you can't get away, they've got a good grip on you. First thing you want to do is get your hands on their hips. Now, of course, Grace is not holding on to me just so I can show you a bit better. The first thing you want to do if they have their arms over you is get their hips and push away. That includes bringing your foot out and getting you as far away from them as possible. So if Grace does have her hands on me, I'm going to take my hands, push her hips out, and step back so that mine are away from her. And then from here, you can knee strike them in the gut, in the A-frame, or just wherever to get them off of you. I promise you, a good solid knee strike will definitely hurt them, and they probably won't want to hold on to you for too much longer if you're just knee striking them. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is a mount escape. So Grace and I are going to real quick show you what the mount is. So I'm going to lay down on the mat, and Grace is going to put me in the mount. So the mount is basically, I'm on the bottom, Grace is on top of me, and she's obviously in complete control of the situation. She's got her hands, and while I have mine, she's still got the high ground. But I promise there's an easy way to get out of this. So we're actually going to teach this as if she's holding me down. And the first thing you're going to want to do is take your hand and slide it down to your side. The reason you want to do this is because with Grace on top, she's kind of like a table. Each hand and each leg is the 4 legs of the table. But when I bring down one of her hands, she's lost a leg of the table. So now she's off balance going that way where her leg once was. So from here, I'm going to take my foot on the same side and trap hers so she can't move her leg. And then I'm going to use my hips. I'm going to bridge upwards, so I'm going to bring them up while keeping my feet planted on the ground. I'm going to turn in the direction that she's missing her hand. Go up and turn. Get her off of me, and I can get up and run away. Let's do that again a bit more slowly. Before Grace gets back on top of me, I'm just going to show you how it looks without her there. So Grace, or whoever, Grace, I promise Grace will not hold you down out of nowhere. We're being held down, our wrists are to the ground, and the first thing we're going to do is take our hand and slide it down with theirs. We're going to take our foot from the same side and trap their foot by putting it on the outside. Then we're going to take our hips, we're going to push them up in a bridge. So this is called bridging, and it's going to be the most important thing to get them off of you, because by doing this, you're knocking their weight forward. So bring your arm down, pin their foot, bridge your hips, then you're going to kick your leg over from where they were so that they fall and roll in the way that you move their leg and get them off of you. So one more time without someone on top of you. You're going to take your hand that's on the ground, bring it down to your side, take your foot on the same side, and trap their foot on the outside. Then you're going to take your hips, bridge up, and turn. Now, if you're having trouble with the turning, the best thing you can think of is you're moving your hips up, you're taking your opposite leg, and you're kicking it over. That way, you'll get the extra momentum from your leg and push them over. So you lift your hips, and you'll kick. Then you can get up and get away. So I'm going to bring Grace back in. She's going to hold me down to the ground again. So I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to slide it down to my side. Going to take my foot on the same side and trap her foot. Going to take my hips, bring them up, and push her over. Now obviously we're going very slow, but when you're doing this at full speed, they wouldn't have time to put their hand down or try to push it away. They might resist a little bit, but if you're doing it correctly, it should work 100% of the time. So let's do it again. Grace is on top of me. Bring my hands down. I'm going to take a hand, slide it to my side, trap their foot, lift my hips, and kick over. And I push her over. So there you go. That is how you do an escape from the mount position. Next, we're going to talk about how to do bicycle kicks. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is something called bicycle kicks, or rock and roll. So this one also takes place from the ground. So if I'm on the ground and somebody is in front of me, I can use my bicycle kicks to keep them away since I have my legs here. So obviously I'm not going to be kicking Grace. When you practice this, make sure to use a pillow or something at home that's soft. It's not the cat that you can use instead of kicking your family member, your friend, or whatever. So if somebody's coming towards you while you're on the ground, you can use your bicycle kicks to keep them away. Now, to do bicycle kicks, it's kind of like you're pedaling a bike. So as one knee comes back, one knee's coming out, and vice versa. Kind of like you're going a never-ending circle. Kicking, coming back. You can go pretty fast with this. One at a time, so that way they won't want to come anywhere close to you. Make sure to put a lot of power in those kicks. Don't just kind of tap them. Really kick them. Get them to stay away from you. Now, let's say you're kicking them, but they move to the side. What you're going to do here is something called rock and roll. So you're going to kind of curl up a bit, bring up your legs. You're going to use your weight so you can rock forward and rock back. And when you're doing this, you can shift to the right or left to turn yourself. So I can turn over and still face Grace. Keep kicking. So let's say she moves again. I can move with her and keep kicking. So let's go back to the start, go over all that again. So once again, when you're doing your bicycle kicks, the number one thing is that you're using both legs at the same time in a pattern. So your legs are up, you're on your back. You're gonna kick with one, and as you bring it back, kick with the other. Start out nice and slow, like you're going in a circle, one and the other, and then you can speed up until you have a good pace going. Obviously, no one wants to be kicked over and over and over again. So if you're here, you can use this to keep someone from coming at you while you're on the ground, or maybe having them put you in the mount position. This will keep them from doing that. But if they try to come around to your side, you can do your rock and roll. So you can curl up your back, bring your hips up, and turn yourself, and keep kicking. So as she moves across, she goes again, you can turn, and keep kicking. Obviously, with enough kicks, they won't want to keep coming at you, but you can do this over and over again, and you won't nearly get as tired as they will trying to get on top of you while you're kicking. Now, you can use this not only if someone is coming at you, but also if somebody is to throw you in their car. You can kick the car door open. Obviously, it's not super easy to do, but if you kick hard enough over and over and over again, the car door will eventually push open. Especially if someone is trying to close you in, but you're pushing back, just keep kicking at it and they can't put you in their car. So there's a lot of uses for this. It's a really great technique to learn, and if you need to look at it again, please just go back in the video. You can watch any of this over and over and over again until you feel comfortable with it. So there you go, that is the end of this video. Of course, you can always go back and rewatch and practice any of the techniques we talked about here, and of course you can do that with any of the other videos as well. Go back and review, or you can go ahead and watch the next video.